Inbound versus AmeritelBPO.
Hey!
Did you know that inbound and outbound are essentially the same except for one simple difference?
Who says hello first?
After that opening, outbound is much easier of a call and very unlikely to run into irate customers, and since you know what's going to happen on the call, there are no surprises or anything you are not going to be prepared for or haven't been trained to handle, unlike inbound. Even those who worked in BPO for a long time have the same misconception and are wrong, and I will explain to you exactly why that's the case. So, let's take a look at our chart here and go through some of the ways they are different. First, let's address toxic campaigns. For those of you with BPO experience, think of the times you considered the campaign you were working on to be toxic. Were you on an inbound campaign? Or an outbound campaign? For those without experience, think about your friends and family working in BPO that said their job is stressful or toxic. What type of campaign were they on? The answer was almost certainly inbound. Next, let's talk about pay. Most of the ads you will see these days for call centers are usually offering a salary range of 16,000 to 20,000 pesos monthly, and guess what? Most of those are very difficult inbound campaigns that require active listening, talking, and typing, and navigating several systems and very detailed product knowledge. Here at Ameritel, we are offering 30,000 monthly for our simple and straightforward outbound campaign. Some of the most difficult campaigns around aren't even offering that, and all you need to be able to do is follow a simple script on a 2-minute call. Now, we have everyone's favorite, irate customers. Do you think there will be more irate people you are dealing with if you call them to offer saving them money? Or if they call you about a billing concern or technical issue? No contest there, as inbound always has all the irate callers. When we call people to offer to save them money on their health insurance plan, well, that isn't something that is going to make them angry or upset in any way. The worst thing we ever deal with is someone not having time to speak and requesting that we call back at another time. So, how about call length? Think about the same question from a moment ago when it comes to irate callers. Are calls going to be longer if you call someone to ask them a few quick, easy questions? Or are the calls going to be longer if someone calls in with a whole backlog of technical and billing issues? They have been loading up on waiting to get time to call and go through? There is a reason the targets for call time for a lot of inbound campaigns are 8 to 10 minutes because that is what they actually consider fast. Some inbound calls can be 30 to 60 minutes long, and those of you sitting here now that have done inbound before know this to be true. A long call for us would be 4 minutes. Our average call is 2 minutes. Okay, now we will discuss a few things that are related to each other. This is regarding incentives. Are they worth it? And will they even be paid out in a timely manner? Well, there are several inbound campaigns that the answer for both questions would be a big, fat no. First off, many aren't even an amount that's equal to the effort it takes to hit the target. You also have to take into consideration that the targets are difficult to begin with, but also constantly changing. One day your goal is set, and you think you are close to hitting your bonus target, then suddenly it changes and goes to be out of reach. Then, if you do manage to still hit the target, you may not actually see the payout for it until months later. Here at Ameritel, we keep the metrics simple and attainable, and we pay out bonuses in real time. That is why we say you will never go broke here. You always have salary or bonuses going into your account constantly. Also, another thing to discuss when it comes to metrics, KPIs, quotas, or simply targets is the number of them that are tracked and that are used to base your performance on. If you have ever stepped foot on an inbound campaign calling floor, then you have seen team boards with anywhere from 5 to 10 metrics listed next to each rep's name. It's a juggling act to manage all those metrics and try hit your goals. We only really have one main metric we worry about. You can forget about AHT, transfers, upgrades, downgrades, dollars collected, sales, and all that other typical inbound stuff that is tracked. Let's take a moment to address system tools. This is yet another big factor that set us apart from inbound campaigns and makes things so much easier. We have two main tools, our dialer and our lead CRM, and they are both cloud-based, which makes accessing and using them about as simple as possible. Those that have done other campaigns in the past are probably thinking that sounds too good to be true and are having flashbacks right now of running several systems and tools at once that all have different rules and passwords to remember. While it is true, we aren't trying to overcomplicate things or make your job stressful in any way. Another thing to consider as a CSR and your future. The industry is going towards automation and artificial intelligence. Simply put, inbound jobs will be going away because it's simply a low-skill job that algorithms can replace, and thus mean you are replaced and jobless. Perfect example, Cebu Pacific shut down their 100-plus rep local low-paying site in favor of AI with chatbot Charlie. Those of you that can adapt and be proficient in outbound will have jobs into the future because those skills aren't easy for AI to mimic, and we at Ameritel give you the skills to make it long-term in the industry, while many others will be jobless because they think outbound is too hard when in fact it's just the opposite. The last thing we'll discuss in this comparison is a huge difference between inbound campaigns and outbound campaigns is that who's in control of the call. That makes a massive impact on your life as a BPO CSR. When someone calls into you, then you have no idea what they are calling about first, and they could throw 5 different issues or concerns at you over the course of one call. They are controlling where the call goes, which puts you at a huge disadvantage. When we call out on our campaign, we have a simple script and some easy-to-use rebuttals for certain scenarios. That means you are 100% in control of the call, and that you always know what comes next. No surprises or unexpected twists and turns that will drag your calls out. So, as I'm sure you can all see at this point, the belief that inbound campaigns are easier and that outbound campaigns are harder is completely false. All the ways we have gone over here today are just some of the ways that our outbound campaign is way easier than your average inbound campaign at any other call center. So, don't buy into that old myth that outbound is scary and difficult. Ameritel will make sure you have a stress-free, non-toxic job with a good work-life balance.